anywhere around the globe. And I see on set right now, I see Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany.
Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Tiff.
And I
Hi.
see my brother, Clayton, Sergeant Clayton Brown. Hey, brother, how are you?
Greetings, brother. How are you?
Terrific, pretty terrific. And also, we've got a special guest tonight. I'm pulling up some information right now as we speak here. A very special guest. And I was so impressed by this guest when I spoke to her earlier last week, or yeah, last week. And that is none other than Miss Rita E. Nimmons. Let me read a little bit about her. Uh, Rita is a member of Swing by Swing Social Fellowship Incorporated. Is currently a member of the Atlanta graduate chapter in Atlanta, Georgia. She joined Swing in April 1973 at Knoxville College at the undergraduate level. She graduated from Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, Illinois, with a BS in Business Administration. She's a native of Pageland, South Carolina. Never heard of Pageland before. South Carolina. She attended Edgewood College of Georgia, where she studied acupuncture and Oriental medicine. She chose a lifestyle as a vegetarian, vegan, plant based, whole food eater 33 years ago. She's also a certified yoga instructor, colon hydrotherapist, acupuncture detox specialist, and an avid walker. Chicago stepper, go ahead now, line dancer, retired federal employee, and African dancer and performer. Yes, and welcome to the set, Rita. Hey, Rita.
Hello.
Hey, so
Hello.
glad to have you here tonight.
Good
And
to be here.
and I'm sure that the audience is going to enjoy what we talk about. I was fascinated by your skill set and your education. So, in your own words, tell us a little bit why and how did you get into acupuncture and Oriental medicine?
Well, I started out, I was actually had problems with I had fibroid tumors that was causing me to um, bleed heavily um, and I was not so happy with what the doctors wanted to do. They wanted to take my ovaries, and at the time I was um, in my 30s, and I didn't want to do that. I had already had one taken away from me, and I didn't know it at the time. But well, actually, I had a dream. I had a dream. My grandparents, my grandmothers, whom I never met because they died before I was born, came to me in a dream and said, "Don't let them take your ovaries." And so I said, "Well, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do it." And then I was searching for a more natural approach. And a lady came up to me in the store and she looked at me and she said, "Don't let them take your ovaries away from you." And so I didn't. So I started studying. I met Dr. Paul Goss, who was, may he rest in peace, who was a naturopathic doctor, and I learned a lot from him. And I, um, I met Dr. Africa and Dr. Sabi, and um, I read Dr. Africa's book, Holistic Health, and he mentioned something about getting colon hydrotherapy that would clean me out, and I could get rid of my fibroids that way. So that's what I did, and I did that for like 12 sessions, and I saw my body change. I saw it, I stopped having dandruff, I stopped having acne. So I just decided I was just gonna go just forget all of what I was
Oh, I would miss you. She froze for a while. Man, this is
doing.
getting interesting. Go on,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
back. Okay, so I decided that I would not eat meat because I saw, as I was getting my colon therapy, I saw parasites about this long, and I knew it was from the meat that I was eating, from the flesh that I was eating. So I stopped doing that, and it's like they say when the student is ready, the teachers will come, and that's what happened to me. And so I started my journey 33 years ago, changing my diet, and I saw changes in my body. I saw the dandruff go away. I saw the skin get better. I saw my gums get better. I just saw some stuff, and I just continued to study. And then I actually started going to naturopathic doctors, and I went to I traveled to California with Dr. Goss, and I just saw something different in me. I got more energy. I had excruciating back pain, and when I changed my diet and I cleansed my body, that's when the pain of the back pain and the bad periods and all of those things just changed. So I just continued to study, and that's when I entered into acupuncture school, because the acupuncturist was the one that kind of helped me along the way with the back pain. So that's where it started. And actually, I'm still studying. I continue to study. I went to Lincoln Rehab Center in New York, and I studied auricular acupuncture. That's just acupuncture in the ears, and met people that did Reiki energy medicine. And people just started to come my way and taught me so many things. So that's where I am 33 years later, and I'm not on any drugs. I have a lot of energy. I do cleanse monthly. I do get massages monthly. I do all those things to help. And I exercise, and I did yoga, and I learned, I got certified as a yoga instructor. And because of Florence Branch, who was my hydrotherapist, I decided to learn that as well. So that's where I am today.
Outstanding, outstanding. You mentioned a couple of things. Then I'm gonna toss it over to Tiffany. You mentioned colon. Is it hypotherapy?
Yes, hydrotherapy.
Hydrotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me for that. And so that is a body cleanse. And you said when you I went through that, you saw parasites.
Yes.
Long parasites. Wow.
Yeah.
Now tell us a little bit about that procedure, because you mentioned that you had, was this a 30-day period that you went through this, or a weekly period that you went through? How long did that therapy take?
Well, I initially went, it was a 12-week program. Okay. And then the first 6 weeks, I went weekly. Okay. And then the second 6 weeks, I went every other week. And I had to take vitamins. I had to take herbs to help loosen up the colon. I was backed up. I mean, it was just really, and I looked at all of the things that was coming through the tubes. That's how you see it. It's a tube that you see the stuff come out, and it's like a high power enema. It's like gallons of water that goes through your anus. Now, some doctors say don't do it, but I found that it worked for me. Okay. And I can only go by what worked for me. And I saw myself change. I lost like 45 pounds when I initially, after the first 6 weeks, and then it kind of tapered off. And people thought I was, my family thought I was on drugs, but I wasn't. Wow. Because I lost the weight so much, and it was amazing, some of the things that I saw. in the tubes. I saw undigested food because I wasn't chewing my food properly. I had to learn to eat slowly. I had to learn to not eat and drink at the same time. And
Mhm.
I saw pills coming through the tubes. I mean, it was an amazing journey.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty
Mhm.
amazing. Now, what was you said you talked to a doctor or maybe more that suggested, that you do not go through that colon cleansing. What was their objection about that?
Well, they said it gets rid of all the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. But the colon therapist that I had me to take probiotics to put the good bacteria in there, and vitamin E and aloe vera and black black it's an herb.
Hmm.
It's a It'll come to me, but she had me on a lot of herbs, and then I didn't eat fried foods. I didn't, I just stopped, changed everything, and it was my own idea to just not just I'm sorry, um, just not eat just not eat any more meat. I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork, I don't eat fish, I don't eat dairy products. And the dairy products was the one that changed my skin. I found out I was allergic to all of that. So, you know,
That's pretty amazing stuff. That's pretty amazing. And I tell you, the scariest part about that, when you say you saw un, uh,
everybody.
digested meat,
Yes.
pills, and other
Yeah.
things, and it's kind of, it seems like to me that a lot of people with a lot of health issues, maybe obesity,
Hmm.
they say they are having a lot of maybe problems with their stomach, their back, whatever it is. That it seems like to me that's a good way, like you said, to cleanse out your body. That makes sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yes.
Okay,
It makes sense to me too.
I'm gonna toss it over to Tiffany, and then I have more questions, and then to Clayton.
Okay.
Hola, my sister. How are you?
Hola, hola.
Yes, it's swing anniversary week. It's coming up. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Um, you are the perfect person to be talking to right now because what's today? Today is Tuesday. So last Monday, I was at work and I was hurting so bad. Like my back was hurting so bad. And normally I get off from work at 6 in the evening, but I was in so much pain. I left at 2 o'clock and I called the doctor right then and there. I said, "Can you please see me?" And so they scheduled me in that day, and they took some X-rays of my back, and I was diagnosed with arthritis and scoliosis in my back, and so we started treatment the very next day. And I've been going to the chiropractor ever since.
Mm.
And so this is so amazing that we're having this conversation right now because you're talking about acupuncture and massages and stuff. And that's one thing I said I need to do. I said I need to go back and get massages done. And and then you were talking about, the cleansing and all of that stuff. And you are so right about, the dairy products, because for me, it's milk. It's like, I'm not lactose intolerant, thank God, but
Mm.
it does causes a lot of mucus for
Yes.
me. And so I had to stop eating cereal. I haven't had cereal in like over 3 years. But I do have a weakness for cheesecake and ice cream. Every once in a while, I got to get that. And the cheesecake don't bother me, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But the ice cream, as soon as I eat the ice cream, I'll start sneezing, a lot. And so I do recognize that. And also when I drink certain sodas trigger me too. Especially like with the pimple, or either it'll trigger me somehow too. So it's wonderful that we're having this conversation, because I'm like, okay, all you're doing for me is confirming what I need to be, scaling back on or whatnot. Um, I can't say that, I can go the vegan. I can't say that. I might can scale
Okay.
back some, you know what I mean? Because it's nothing like having, the good pork bacon versus turkey
Mm-hmm.
bacon. I could do turkey sausage. But so but it's nonetheless this conversation, I'm truly loving it. My question to you is, how would you recommend people that are, such as myself, like, okay, you just, some people can't just go cold turkey. So what would you recommend for us to start doing?
Okay. The all the things that you said, I had those issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do it right away. I didn't just quit. First, well, actually 10 years prior to me going vegan, plant-based, I got rid of the beef and the pork. I just stopped eating that. And then I stopped eating the chicken and the turkey. Once I saw those parasites, I knew I had to get rid of something. And then I stopped eating the fish.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I stopped eating dairy products because I was allergic to it all my life and didn't realize it because had all these breakouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say start slowly, just slowly taking things away. So
Mm-hmm.
slowly taking, because in the detoxification process, it's gonna take a while. Like I said, I've been doing this for 33 years, and I could really see the difference after about a real significant difference about 7 or 8 years later. That's when all the pimples and all of the outbreaks started to come out. But I did go through some things, like I would have some aches somewhere. I mean, that's all a part of the detoxification, because as my colon therapist used to say, if it wasn't in there, it wouldn't come out. So it's going to come out in your skin. Might come out in your nose, your ears, anything, any way the body has to get rid of something. It's going to have to come out
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. It come out through your feces, your urine. That's just the way the body is. The body is very, very intelligent. And
Right.
a lot of times when we have these detoxification syndromes, it's really what they call disease. That's something that I learned. You know, um, my eyesight got better. I got my glasses on because I can see far away very, very well. I just can't, the little bitty writing, I
Mm-hmm.
just have a problem with that. And then, lighting plays a role in it as well. So start slow, very, very slow. And don't rush things, because the body, it took you a while to get there
Mm-hmm.
to the point where you are. So it's going to take about half that time to
Mm-hmm.
for it to detoxify.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sarge.
Yeah. Greetings, sister, and
Maybe.
congratulations to our sisters of Swing for your Swing anniversary that's coming up. And thanks for coming on. I too suffer from back problems, nerve problems, going to the neurologist and things like that, and the pain clinics, getting shots in my back. I've also had acupuncture. At that time, I was in Colorado Springs,
Mm,
and the acupuncturist, it, I don't know whether it really made a difference because I was going through different types of treatment, including chiropractic treatments as
mhm.
well. But I noticed on your resume, which is very extensive, that you do acupuncture as detox. Could you
Mhm.
explain to us how that works?
Well, if you're speaking of the auricular acupuncture, there are,
Sure.
yeah, there are acupuncture points in your ear.
Hmm.
Okay. and it's about 365 points, and they correspond to different parts of your body. The if you if you have a chance to look it up, um, the ear looks like an inverted fetus with the head being here and the and the feet at the top, and on the inside of the ear, that might be your lungs, your heart. So I learned how to do that, and when I and when I learned that, I saw different ailments um, go away. Okay.
Mm.
I had like the young lady said, I had excruciating back pain. It would just take me down. I couldn't. I was dancing at the time. As long as I was dancing a lot, the blood flows. But just let me sit down, and it was spasmic, and it would just grab me. And so uh, I found out that it was not just it was my back, but it was also my kidneys. Because when I got the acupuncture, the acupuncturist, Dr. Malcolm Johnson, um, uh, never touched my back. He worked on my kidneys. He worked on my spleen. He worked on my stomach. He worked on my lungs. He worked on my heart. And then there's a point called a sympathetic nerve. He worked on that. So it took about 2 years. And one day I woke up and I never had the pain. So it's very, very slow. The body is very, very slow in healing. I think that the medical monopoly, I call it that,
Mm-hmm.
tends to just treat the symptoms and not the
Yes,
cause.
that is
And
true.
so I wanted I wanted to address the cause. I didn't know it was my kidneys. I had no idea, but I know where it was my lower back. That's where my kidneys are. You know,
Mhm.
so um, just me learning more about how my body works and then
Yeah.
paying attention to the things. And of course, I went to a chiropractor too. I still go. I go once a month. I'm maintaining now because as we get older, we have to maintain our health. Just like we maintain our cars, we have to maintain our health as well. And it starts with our diet. It starts with us movement. Um, it starts with listening to your body, you know. And a lot of times, my experience in acupuncture and doing clinical work, most people could not describe what the pain feels like. Um, you know, and you ask them if they're having any kind of emotional issues, and they never see that um that part of the physical pain that they're having. So it's a mind body spirit connection, I always say.
Oh,
So
that's fantastic.
mhm,
Because one of the things that I did when I was in the Air Force, I was a medical illustrator. And
mhm,
I used to have to illustrate the different systems, circulatory, the
mhm,
nervous system. And I found out how important that nervous system is because it controls just about everything in your body,
mhm,
including which your biggest nerve is your brain.
mhm,
And even to like you was mentioning bowel movements and things like that, it will also regulate those things. So
mhm.
do you study those things as well as
Yes,
you
yes,
do?
yes,
All
yes.
right.
I studied, of course, I studied the colon, and disease begins in the colon, and there's certain parts of, well, all parts of the body correspond in the colon correspond to organs in the body. So your eyes, your nose, it all corresponds. And I studied not only colon therapy, but I study homeopathic medicine, and I'm now beginning to study energy medicine, and that is amazing to me, anyway.
Tell us about it.
Um, well, your body is energetic. It's electric, and uh, sometimes the electricity or the energy flow that flows throughout the body gets stuck. That's where acupuncture has helped a lot of people.
Hmm.
But you can also use um, uh, therapies like what they call Reiki. And my girlfriend Pearl, who um, may be talking with you at some point in time. That's what she does, and she moves that energy so the body can flow and heal itself. That's
Okay.
that's what that's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do, is to keep my body in a place where it flows and it's in balance, and so that the body can heal itself. Because I believe that the body
Hmm.
can heal itself. You have to give it the
Yes.
right environment for it to heal. So,
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
mhm,
Appreciate that.
mhm,
Yes. Very interesting.
Yeah, pretty amazing
Well.
stuff, really. If you think about it, and you and I talked off air also, and we're
mhm,
saying now, with all of the pluses that Oriental medicine and uh, acupuncture uh, and benefits that it gives you, why don't we adopt it here? And I think we came to maybe a conclusion that there's no more money in medicine than it is acupuncture,
exactly.
and the powers to be wants to push the medicine. They want to treat the symptoms instead of really to the root of the problem
Right.
here. I have a question. You talked about the 5 points in the ear,
Mhm,
and then also I've only seen it on TV, acupuncture, and I see where they insert needles in different parts of the body. Can you
mhm.
sort of break it down to now? The 5 points in the ear, does that only control or taps into certain parts of your
Yes.
nervous system, and then the other parts of the body where you need to insert the needles will tap into another part of the body? Can you kind of tell us that a little bit?
Well,
Break it down a little bit for us.
well, all of the organs in the body are have points in the ears. Um, so you would use different points to help certain physical manifestations. Um, the ones that I use that I've helped people with drug issues, that remember I was telling you about that,
Right.
people that had drug addictions. I use the sympathetic nerve, the kidney, the liver, um, the heart, and the spirit gate. And that's also the heart. That's what they call the heart.
The
So
spirit gate.
that's what they call the heart. So those organs are mostly affected when you're addicted to drugs or cigarettes or you know um, any kind of addiction. But if you have some other ailments, say you have problems with your back, that little area that comes down, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's like right here.
Hmm.
That's your spine.
Wow.
That's your
And
spine.
what you're pointing right there, is that like on the inside, sort of?
It's like, see, okay, can you see this? Okay,
Yes.
I could get you can you hold on for a second?
Yeah, we can hold on. What I'm finding fascinating about this, Sarge and Tiffany, is that there are ways that the body can heal, and there are remedies, and it doesn't have to be a lot of pills all the time.
Right, right. So you see
Okay.
my ear here?
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, this part here
all right,
goes down like that. That is the spine.
that's your
This,
spine.
yeah,
Wow.
this is the cervical, and then you come up to uh, the middle part, and then all the way to the lower part, and
Wow.
then the sympathetic nerve is right up in here. The spirit spirit gate is here. The lungs are here. The kidney is right there, and then the spleen is here.
Hold that up a little bit. Hold up a little bit higher.
Okay, the liver. I mean the liver, not the spleen. But the liver is right here. So see, you see all this writing here. All of these are where these are the different points on the ear that correspond to different parts of your body. And you see how this looks like inverted fetus. Yeah.
Yeah.
This being the head part here, and then coming on up here is like the foot.
Tell us now, going down to the earlobe, is there anything? Okay,
Right here.
right there at the tip of that earlobe. What is that?
That you mean like right here?
Going up, yep, right in that area, right there.
Right there is the tonsil. That's what it says, the tonsil.
This is pretty incredible stuff. And I wish that now we have some listeners that they're on the app or they're listening via Alexa. I can't say it too loud because she'll start asking me questions. Okay. But yeah, if you are on Facebook or you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, you can see the examples that Rita is showing you. And I'm finding this absolutely fascinating because it tells me that the big pharma wants us to keep buying drugs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and I know someone that's quite close to me, and that is telling me that they take 12 medications a day, and I said, "Whoa,
Whoo.
that's got to be doing some real harm to your body," because he's taking one pill and that is going to treat something else that's going wrong in another situation, and it's just like a merry-go-round, so to speak, right? A continuous thing. And I'm saying, hey, that's too much. 12 medications a day. It's got to be damaging. You know,
It damages your liver, it damages your kidney, and it damages your stomach because your stomach has to produce hydrochloric acid to break it down, and then it can damage your gallbladder, all the digestive organs. And the thing about it is medication, and this is just my opinion, you never get off of it. I don't want to stay on medication.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be cured, okay? I don't want to be treated. So that's my thing. That's why I don't take medication. I will study what herbs and herbs I can take, or I'll detox. I get my colonics, and sometimes I see things I didn't think I still had. And I found out that when I went under the knife in college, they took my appendix. I didn't know that. But I signed that piece of paper saying you could take whatever you want to take. And so now they say that the appendix is, you don't need it, but I don't believe that we were made, God put all of this inside our bodies.
Right.
we didn't need it.
So we don't need it. Okay.
Right.
You know, we need everything. I just don't like taking different organs and stuff. That's why I'm really adamant about putting in the right things to nourish the body, you know, not eating all of that processed food, as we've become a nation of processed food. And that's where a lot of the illnesses are coming from.
Right.
We got to learn how to just eat real food. And it used to be like that. I mean, if you all are around my age, I'm 71. I ate real food because, you know, my little hometown, Pageland, South Carolina, it's near Charlotte, North Carolina. We had a garden, and we raised our own animals when I was eating. I mean, I had problems with dairy products even at a young age, but at least the food I knew how what was fed to them, and I knew that it was safe. But
Mhm.
nowadays, you don't even know.
You
So,
don't know. You don't know.
hmm
Yeah, let's see, modified food, the vegetables,
hmm
right? Modified, and so I'm thinking if you go against the natural order, then you might have some problems. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Now, Cleveland, I can attest because our grandfather, he was an incredible, incredible man. Uh,
Yes.
he had our property set on an acre of land, and he took half that acre. He farmed on it. And
hmm
he taught me how to farm. He taught me how to plant uh, uh, lima beans and
hmm
potatoes and corn and some of the best
Right.
tomatoes I've ever had in
Yes.
my life. Clayton and I we were talking about how he used to go out there and pick a tomato out there
Yes.
and eat it fresh off the vine,
Yes.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Uh, uh,
That was me. I even had a little garden myself. My father let me have a garden,
right,
and that's what I would eat during the day. And
right,
I hardly was sick when I was,
right.
growing up and a teenager. It wasn't until I got on my own and was eating all that crazy food in college that I began to get sick.
Right,
So,
right. And I don't recall we didn't have much processed food back there anyway. We
no.
didn't have that. I know I got really upset with my grandparents. I was a kid, right? And they
Mhm.
brought all these little baby chicks home, right? And they said, William, oh, these are your little pets. Okay, then when they started getting bigger and bigger, I saw my pets disappear. Then one day I saw all this chicken on the table. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. I couldn't eat it. I said, doggone, they killed my chicken. I know I was upset. I was furious. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I said, y'all lied to me. But back then it
Yeah.
was healthier. And my grandfather was also a fisherman and a hunter, you know, and the meat was fresh.
Yeah.
And also downtown we had a place where you can go and you could buy fresh chickens, for dinner.
Not like
They would
that
clean it
now.
right there. They don't do that anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, and it had a different taste to it.
Yeah.
Entirely, entirely different taste. So
Yeah.
now, say for instance, someone, uh, and now I have a lot of people that I've talked to recently say, "Oh my, I have this migraine headache." Okay, and with your example and talking about acupuncture, where and let's say what part of the body or part of the ear would they say to cure that? And have you talked about? Have you known anyone or treated anyone that have migraines and use acupuncture to relieve that?
Well, it's probably like the stomach, the kidney, the liver,
Hmm.
the spleen. Um, yeah, those organs, those eliminative organs, uh, and you have headaches a lot of times when you're constipated, and constipation means that you're dehydrated. And see, that's another thing we don't drink enough water, but I have come to know that some of the water that some of these companies are producing is not the best water for us. The
Hmm.
water that's best is H3O2 water, which comes from fruits,
Mhm.
fruits and
Okay.
Fruits.
vegetables. Yes. I
Yeah.
know of a man named Aries Latham. He's never had water in 45 years. He drinks coconut water. He drinks fruit water.
Mm.
He drinks fruit and vegetable water, and he doesn't touch the regular water. And he's a slim man. He's got a lot of white hair, but he's a slim man. He's been around. He's a raw food pharmacist, he calls himself. And that was one of the things that he talked about too. So I just started doing that, and I've noticed that I don't have to go to the bathroom as often. um that that I can drink more fluids than I used to. At one time I was going to the bathroom so often, but now it's since I changed that because I juice a lot now.
Hmm.
Um, and I noticed that I feel I have more energy. Um, I can walk upstairs briskly and knees don't hurt, you know.
Well,
So
Mhm.
so,
I just see a big difference in my diet and as it relates to my health.
okay.
So,
Now, do you say how about lung function? Uh, how does that fruit water or coconut water or vegetable water does that help as far as lung function is concerned?
oh yeah, of course, because you're nourishing your body. Remember when
Oh,
you nourish the body and you get the right kind of minerals, um, right vitamins. That's what we're depleted in a lot of ways. We need the minerals, especially melanated people. We really are different. I don't care what anybody says. We we are people of the sun, and we need sunlight. We need oxygen. We need those are things that we kind of gotten away from.
Mm-hmm, hmm.
So uh, I've seen that difference because I made it my business to to stay more natural.
Hmm.
Sometimes I do a little, maybe eat a little something that ain't right, but I cleanse. So,
Okay. And how do you cleanse?
well, I still do colonic once a month.
Okay. You have to break it
Um,
down for us. Colonic, what does that mean?
that's a like gallons of water in your coat in your
Whoa.
anus. You know how it's
Okay.
like a high powered enema.
Okay. And it's something you can do on your own?
Yeah, well, you can do an enema and that helps, but you can go to a hydrotherapist and you can either do the closed method or the open method. The closed method is the method where you have a colon therapist there actually um, dictating how much water you need and knowing from your reactions how to deal with it, how to, she'll stop it when, your stomach is griping, like you got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay. It's always a colon therapist there to do most of the work. Now, the open method is when you actually do it, and it's you sit on this bed like thing, and you just insert it yourself, and you turn the water on. You fill your colon up as far as you can take it, and then you release it, and it just goes out like in a toilet and just goes through the tubes and you can see everything.
Wow.
So that's what most people do. I've noticed because that's the law. In some states you can't you the person has to be certified in order to actually insert it into you. But you can do it yourself. It's not hard. You just sit back and turn the water on, turn the water off.
Okay.
So, hmm
Fascinating. Fascinating. Tiffany, what do you have?
Um, I wanted to ask you about STDs. Because I remember you said earlier that you had, I don't know if you was with Dr. Sebi, you talked to Dr. Sebi, and I know he's really big on cures for a lot of stuff.
hmm
So, and we know that your body can heal itself.
hmm
What would you say for people who may have or may come in contact with someone that may have an STD?
Oh, that's a good question, and I don't know really. Honestly, I don't know because I've never had one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Never
So
had.
acupuncture won't do anything for that,
But
huh?
I do think Well, yeah, because it might be parasites.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mm.
Because a lot of times that's what it is. And my question has always been when it comes to STDs and stuff, I, how did it come? How did it actually start?
Yeah.
You know?
Good question.
So nobody's been able to answer that question for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know, uh, I'm thinking that it's a parasite. And sometimes in the naturopathic world, parasites is the same as a virus.
Mm.
So, you know, I've never had an STD, so I wouldn't know how you do that. Now they can give you medication, but that medication is just suppressing the
Right.
Mm.
the thing, and they say now that if you had the vaccine, the measles vaccine or smallpox vaccine, then you might have shingles. That means that it was still in there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I don't. I can't answer your question. Uh,
That might be something else that you could
yeah,
possibly study.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the questions that I got here is they want to know, what does your average meal look like? Like, what do you eat?
You know, everybody asks me that.
Mm-hmm.
When I like right now, I don't even eat breakfast. Okay. I don't eat the breakfast food. If I eat something, it's gonna be fruit.
Okay.
Fruit. Cause
Mm.
when you what breakfast, when you go to sleep, your body is constantly trying to heal itself and
Mhm.
do what it's supposed to do, to balance itself out. So when you wake up, you want to you want to break your fast
Mm-hmm.
with more fluids. You don't want to break your fast with sausage, pancakes,
Mm.
because that doesn't have any kind of
Mm-hmm.
fiber, really, or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. You want to break it with water and tea, and so I usually don't eat anything until about 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
And then between 12 and 4 o'clock. And I eat that one meal, and I always have vegetables. I always have color on my plate: green, red, yellow, you know, um, because colors have an effect on your body as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I eat that, and then I don't eat anything uh, uh, at all unless it's fluids. I try to hydrate. Coconut water. I may make juice. I like apples with. I might put some kale greens, some ginger, um,
Hmm.
turmeric. Turmeric gets rid of inflammation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, what else? I might put some parsley and some cilantro. Cilantro gets rid of the lead in the body. So, and it tastes good. It really tastes good. And so I'll drink that. Uh, and if I'm really hungry, I'll eat some fruit,
Okay.
because fruit really is the one thing that bypasses the pancreas, and it doesn't work the pancreas. And because most people who are diabetic have problems with their pancreas. So when
Mm-hmm.
you eat fruits, it doesn't work the pancreas. So, so
Hmm.
that's how I've learned, and I've seen how my body works with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have digestive problems, no acid reflux. And if you have an acid reflux, your stomach problems, um, any kind of digestive problems, that means that you're not getting nourished.
Okay.
That's the bottom line, So,
Okay.
Gotcha.
Clayton.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. You pretty much answered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask because we are people that love spices, and you
Yeah.
mentioned turmeric and ginger,
Hmm.
and what are the spices that we need to stay away from?
Mm, good question.
Uh, I, uh, I don't think most spices are pretty good. You just don't want to eat too much.
Mm,
I do want to say, don't eat table salt. Don't put table salt on your food.
mm,
Use something like Celtic salt or Himalayan salt because they have minerals. The table salt, they have stripped off most of the minerals and then they fortify it. So
Mhm.
that's not even real.
mm.
That's not even
Mm.
real. But most spices, um, they're pretty good. I
I had
use
never heard of
rosemary, you know,
Celtic salt.
garlic.
Mm.
Garlic is good. Yeah.
Garlic is good.
I had never heard of Celtic or Himalayan
Neither
salt.
have I.
Really, it's pink. You can go to
Yeah.
Food Lion or Walmart and go get
Yeah.
it. It's
Okay.
pink.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got a question for both of you. Oh,
Mhm.
now, they came up with something years ago called it was a fake salt that tasted like, oh my God, it tasted like poison. It was. You remember that? What was the name of that stuff? It was. It was a fake salt, and it didn't taste like salt at all. I mean, good gracious!
It was
I mean, it
called
just ruined
it
it.
was no salt. That's what it was called.
It was
Oh,
nasty, very, very nasty. But you mentioned something about Himalayan salt,
yeah.
Mhm.
and what's the other one?
Celtic.
Celtic. Now, does it
Uh-huh.
have that salt? Because I
Oh
love.
yeah, you don't have to use that much. It gives you the flavor.
Okay.
And then there are other kinds of salt. There's salt that comes from the what's the earthquake? The in the mountains where the earth where those earthquakes
Raccoon.
Uh,
come out, when they have an earthquake, it's something in that soil that it's a salt. There's a green salt, there's a black salt, you
Mhm.
know, all of those are earthy salts
I've
that
never heard
have
of anything like that.
minerals. Oh yeah. Well, that's the kind of things that I learned during my journey. I learned other ways to prepare food. I learned substitute ways to. At first, I had to have that meaty kind of thing going on,
Uh huh.
and I had to learn how to, make other things that could give me that meaty consistency. Nuts will do that. You just have to prepare it in a certain way.
Right, right, right. Well, we have one of our listeners, a good friend of ours, good friend of the show and ours, and
Mhm.
a special friend to Clayton and Carolyn Brown. And she
Mhm.
says, pink salt. And yes, you have Clayton Brown. I cook with Himalayan pink salt. Uh,
Mhm.
I had never heard of it, but I'll tell you what, I'm going shopping here soon because a lot of things that. Oh, by the way, uh, I'm gonna call you before I go shopping too.
Okay.
Because you're bringing a lot of information to us, and we understand. Like we talked about processed food, we're talking about our diet and things of that nature, and things out here that are really harmful for us, to us rather. And you have to understand what is the motivation. Excuse me. Why are these things being sold? And it all comes down to dollars and cents.
Mhm.
You say with the medicine,
And addictions,
food.
okay, because you get addicted to a lot of that food.
Mhm.
McDonald's, Burger
Uh,
King, all that
Mhm.
stuff, it's addictive,
yeah.
and we crave it. And
Mhm.
once you take that stuff out of your diet, you actually taste the food, the fresh foods, the fresh plant-based foods, the fruits. You'll taste that even better. But
Mhm.
we get so into not don't want to prepare our own food. We have to prepare our own food, or else we are going to be a sick nation forever.
We've gotten lazy.
Mm-hmm.
We really have microwave. This is a microwave society. We talked about that
Yes.
also as well. So now let's get back to you. You say that you do a lot of juicing.
Yes.
Okay. I have gone back to eating apples. Growing up, we had a green apple tree,
Mm-hmm.
or we had a pear tree, or we
Mm-hmm.
also had a peach tree. You know,
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great. We had all of that stuff too. We had wild blackberries and strawberries and watermelon and grapes and
grape.
plums,
Yeah.
everything.
Yes. Tiff.
Um, we're running out of time, but before we go, since this is Swing Anniversary Week, it would be remiss of me to not bring up, how did you get involved into Swing? How did you find out about it? What made you make the decision to actually join Swing out of the different organizations that was out there?
Well, at Knoxville College, I got hypnotized by the Divine Nine, I guess that's what they call themselves. But I pledged AKA for like 2 weeks, and I just didn't like the way they treated people. I didn't want to join an organization where I had to um, get the kind of abuse that they were giving folks. I'm just a free thinker and a rebel, and I just didn't belong there.
Mhm.
Um, and so my sister actually pledged at South Carolina State.
Mhm.
And I was like fascinated by the organization. And at Knoxville College, I had a chance to start a line. Me and a lady named Dee Dee, we call her Dee Dee. And we found 10 other ladies that wanted to do something different. And we did. And so I remember, I think her name was, I always say her name wrong, but she came down and she um, worked with us and did that. And I'm the kind of person that once I join an organization, um, I stick with it. I never wanted to be anything else but a swing. I
Mhm.
enjoy being a swing. I love my swing sisters, and I like the smallness of the organization. I understand it's going to grow, but I
Mhm.
I like the ladies that
Mhm.
that I came in contact with. You know,
Mhm.
strong and not wanting to be a part of what all that other stuff. Um,
Mhm.
so I just love my sisters.
Awesome. I totally understand. I get where you're coming from. I'm the same way. For me, it was just something that was different. And
Yeah.
I've always considered myself to be different because I couldn't fit
Hmm.
in with other females and stuff.
Hmm.
And when I went to something, an event that they had at St. Aug, and I saw these older ladies, and they were dressed in their black dresses and in their pearls and stuff, and
Hmm.
I was just like, oh my gosh, and they were so professional,
Yes.
and it was an attraction that had caught my interest, and I was just like, oh my God, this is more so my speed, even though I was a baby,
Hmm.
compared to them. It was just something that was fitting for me.
Yeah.
And ever since, you hear so much stuff about, these different organizations, these hazing
Hmm.
and stuff. I can honestly say I didn't go through that. I don't believe in calling someone a potential sister and doing that. And
Hmm.
that is something that I did not, neither me or my line sister, have to experience. And it's something that it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Sisterhood is a beautiful thing. And what I want to do while I have the opportunity, And for those that are listening, those that are watching, our anniversary is actually April 4th. So it is coming up. And we were founded in 1969
Great.
at Winston-Salem State. Winston-Salem State. In Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And and so what I want to say, I have the opportunity, because we do have our brothers here, I want to say I appreciate our brothers so
So
much.
do I. That
Um,
was another part of the reason why I want to be a swing.
okay, I don't want to
Thank you.
wait till it's y'all anniversary way in October. I want to go
Yeah.
ahead and give you your flowers now. I want to say I appreciate you guys so much, because
Yes.
what I love about Groove is, and it's a quick story. Last month, no, back in February, because this is not April 1st. So back in February, I had to go to Chicago. And I called this one brother up. I said, "Hey, I'm coming to Chicago, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Hey, I might not be in town, but I'm going to give you this other brother's number." I said, "Okay." And so we just started conversing. And I said, "Hey, well, bye. I'm actually going through West Virginia." I said, "Do we have any brothers or sisters in that area?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to give you this brother's number." And we started conversing. And long story short, I get to West Virginia, and it's our very first time meeting, and we met and they showed me on campus and stuff. By the way, this is an announcement, West Virginia State University, the Groove Brothers, they're having a fellowship from April 24th to the 26th. So anybody that's in the area, West Virginia, please go out and show these guys some love. It is their founders weekend of that chapter. And so they just reactivated a few years ago. So please, April 24th through the 26th. And so long story short is I end up missing my flight to Chicago. So the very same day that I meet this brother or these brothers, they looked out for me. And they let me stay at their place. They took real good care of me. Got on my flight the next morning. Went to Chicago. A brother up there, he looked out for me, took care of me. And I'm talking about, I just met these guys. You know what I mean? So it's not like I have been talking to them. I literally just met them the week of, and then came back. Stayed another night in West Virginia with the same brothers or whatnot, because it was snowing. And so they was like, "You're not going to get on the road. You know what I mean? You're going to stay here." And they was talking to some brothers down in Texas. They was like, "Hey, we still got this swing here." They was like, "Whatever you do, take care of her." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make sure you look out for it. And I love you guys. Clayton,
Thank you.
you're my guy. William, I appreciate
Yeah.
you so much. And so to all those that are watching, those that are listening, I love Groove, and I love my sisters.
We
Wow.
do appreciate that, Tiffany, and we love you as well. And here, we work well with the sisters here in the Richmond grad chapter. Sister Geraldine Atkins, she always called me when something's going on her end, and I would do the same. And we do community service projects together. And the grooves and the swings, we work well together. And the people out there know that the black and white family is strong.
Mhm.
So we
Right.
appreciate the shout out. We love you, sisters, and we're going to grow together. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
really. And you guys know that, just tell you a quick story. We've gone over a little bit, but I checked with the CEO. He said it's okay. And so, and so what happened? I started this station. We're in our 11th year. And about 8 years ago, I started a program back in California called Groove Talk Radio. And it isn't as big as Groove Swing Speaks, believe it or not. And we did that for about 3 or 4 years. It was most of the regional, local type, and brothers would chime in. We had very little participation from the swings. And it had nothing to do with the swings. It's because we didn't expand and extend the invitation far enough. Coming back, make a long story short, about a little over a year ago, my station was featured in a soul magazine, Southern Soul magazine, and I had my groove gear on, and the Raleigh grad chapter of Swing Five Swing congratulated me. I said, "Wow, I mean, I was so flattered that I put my phone number up and asked if someone contact me. Well, you can count on Rock. Rock contacted me and we started talking. And I wanted to bring the Raleigh grad on one of my platforms because we're on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Music, talk, sports, comedy, entertainment, and the whole 9 yards. And so after speaking to Rock for a while, I said, whoa, why don't we do something and include the swings and call it Groove Swing Speaks? And that way we could connect grooves and swings from around the country and around the world. And it has worked out to be absolutely beautiful. So I want to thank Rock. She's behind the scenes. We'll get her on camera one day, but she does a great job for us. The program would not be the same without her. And Rock, we love you, and we certainly appreciate that. And so, congratulations on your anniversary. For more information, please visit swingbyswing.org. Again, that's swingbyswing.org. And there's another announcement that was put up. Facebook. Okay, you guys see that? Facebook.com /swing5swing. I think something else. Instagram. Okay, Instagram, www.instagram.com/swing5swing/ what is that? Question mark HL equal EN. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Also TikTok, www.tiktok.com/@swing5swing. All over the place. And now groove5groove.com. No, groove dash groove5-groove.com. Guys, thank you so much. Rita, I want to thank you so much. And I've got one last thing to ask. Is there anything that we didn't ask that you wish we had?
No, but I want to say before I go off that I hope that your listeners, that they hear from me, because I believe that your health is really your wealth, and we have to invest in our health so that we can all thrive. And I too want to thank Rock, because she surprised me in contacting me, because I actually thought nobody really even noticed or even cared. So, but she's seen me over the years, and I appreciate her so much. And Mr. Brown, I really appreciate you having me on. I've always wanted to spread the word and about my journey so I can help somebody.
Well, we really appreciate that. And please promise that you will come back.
I will.
Yes,
And I
please.
have a couple of other platforms on my station that I would love for you to visit. Okay. Not only visit, but make an appearance. How about that?
Great.
All right.
It'll be my pleasure.
Tiffany, Rita, it's been absolutely amazing. I want to thank you guys each and every week. You take time. You could be doing something else, but you take time to participate in this. And not only that, help spread the word and get people involved, because the whole idea of Groove Swing Speaks is to educate, motivate, and just share ideas that may help someone improve their lives, you see. And we talk about from the cradle all the way up to our more mature adults and in between. So, guys, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. Also, one last reminder, keep it locked on Studio W, The Buzz, studiow.com, studiow.buzz. We're on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Music, talk, sports, comedy, entertainment, and a whole lot more. Hey, guys, enjoy your evening.